And sometimes, yes, life is challenging. As Scott Peck said in the book, the first line that he writes in his book, The Road Less Traveled, life is difficult. And it is. Not all the time, but it is. There's challenges out there. And without those challenges, we are not able to go beyond and grow. So those challenges, we begin to now welcome those challenges when they come. We don't have to look for them. They'll come all on its own. But when they come then, okay, wow, here's another challenge. So we meet it. And there's this play or this dance, we can call it, that life, our life situation comes to us if we just become still. I mean, it comes to us anyways. We don't have to go looking for anything. It's amazing to see that when we become more and more still, that life brings us what we need. I'll give you another example where life brings you what you need. I was a late student, so to speak. So after my divorce, I went back to school, and I had I already had this child at this point. And I was really short on money. I got student loans, and it got me through. I took my car off the road because I thought that would save on some money. But it was actually so stressful to be a single mom and have no car, take my daughter to school, me to school, get groceries without a vehicle. And the first semester, so from September to December, I was so stressed out that I thought, oh my God, I just can't do this anymore. But I have no money. All I had $1,000 about there, let's just say. And I thought, and it was Christmas time, and I thought, oh man, it's enough money for my rent and enough money to buy groceries and a little bit left over to buy my daughter a Christmas present. I thought, what am I going to do? But something within me just said, go put your car on the road. And I even said to myself, am I crazy? I mean, I spend my rent and food money, for that month, and I won't have that? That's nuts. But something was just saying to do it. So I did it. Friends and family were telling me I was totally crazy, absolutely crazy. What are you going to do? How are you going to feed your daughter? How are you going to pay your rent? And I'm like, I don't know, but I just have to do it. And they're all rolling their eyes at me and, saying I was absolutely nuts. And through the logical mind, that is crazy to do. It was crazy to do through the logical mind. But I did it, not knowing what I was going to do, how I was going to pay the rent, how I was going to get groceries. And then I get a phone call. And a friend said, come down here. I have somebody who wants to give you a Christmas present. And I go, oh, okay. Well, who is this person? Well, you don't know them, but they want to give you a Christmas present. And bring your daughter. So we both go down, and there's this round wrapped present, very heavy. So I give it to my daughter to open up, and she unwraps it. She opens, and it was this cookie tin, round cookie tin. And she opened it up, and it was full of loonies. So if you don't know what a loonie is, in Canada, a loonie is equivalent to a dollar bill, $1. So we now have toonies, but back then we only had loonies. So it was full of loonies. And so she counted it out. And there was the exact amount plus maybe another $50 or so extra on what I paid on my car insurance. And I went, holy cow, that was a big lesson to realize that I'm being looked after here. We are being looked after. I had no idea, logical sense, it would have totally irrational to spend that money on car insurance. But something was just pulling at me to do it. Just do it, just do it. And I just did it, not knowing that I was going to get this present. That renewed my trust in faith in the divine consciousness, and realize that the divine consciousness sometimes does not work through the logical mind, what seems logical. But if we are just attuned to that intuition within us, and we follow through with that intuition within us, even though it doesn't make sense, then something else emerges. There is something else that is greater than what our minds could even conceive, that is ready to say, here, I'll lead the way. Just get out of the way and I'll lead the way. But oftentimes, we are conditioned to not listen to that intuition, to only listen to what is logical, listen to the mind, which is okay. I mean, I could have listened to the mind and then not had that experience. But the experience for me was far greater than receiving the money. The experience was that a trust was restored. The faith was restored. And that is within yourself. To have that trust and faith restored within you. And that intuition is only felt within you. You only know it within you. So the same thing with Eckhart writing the book, The Power of Now. I remember him telling me that people would tell him, that's been written before. Why bother doing that? Hundreds of books on spirituality. If he would have listened to those external voices, yes, there are hundreds of books written on spirituality. But if he would have listened, there wouldn't be the power of now. It wouldn't be this. So there's always somebody who will have an opinion, and it's okay to let them have their opinion. It's only within ourselves, are we going to follow that opinion or follow our own knowing, our own intuition? And this too is part of the awakening process, to be able to spiritually discern what is coming from spirit or what is coming from the mind, the conditioning, the opinions that people have, the opinions that you have within yourself, is be able to start to spiritually discern where it's coming from. And the intuition is usually a very quiet voice. It's oftentimes not really loud. In fact, I remember when that voice was telling me, no, you got to just do it. Just put your car on the road. It was very quiet. In fact, I didn't have to listen to it, and it would have been okay. It would have been okay because it doesn't mind what you do. They'll find another route for me to learn trust and faith. So this is where our whole beauty of the awakening that we have in store for us. And it's work. Sometimes it's a lot of work. And other times you feel like, oh my God, another thing I've got to learn. Oh no. But you just keep on going. You keep on going. I was listening, there was a questioner that had asked Eckhart, he was a construction worker and he had 6 children and he's present, he's able to be present at work, and then he comes home and he's really tired. So I was imagining that, just listening to him and just saying, oh yeah, oh man, I know where you're at. And I probably know where your wife is at too. I mean, I don't know whether your wife is working outside. It wouldn't matter outside the home. It wouldn't matter. But you come home and you're tired, and I can imagine your wife going, oh, because I only had 1 kid, and I remember doing this with my ex-husband. He'd come home, and he was actually in construction too. So I understand that physical exhaustion, but so are kids. And I remember wanting, as soon as he walked in the door, it was just like, here, you take her, give me a break. So it's like you have 2 exhausted people here, and how you navigate through that. And it is a navigation. It is a practice and a trial and an error to see what will work. And maybe it is. I mean, with my ex-husband, of course, we were both unconscious. So you could only imagine what happened when he came home. But looking back, of course, and awakening, you can see, okay, yeah, of course, he's tired, I'm tired, and we have to find our way through this. And we have to find what will work. So, and it may be that, I'm just speaking for me, what I would have liked. I would have liked, yes, when my husband walks through that door, I want to just hand over the kids because I'm tired. But he's tired too. So it's almost like, okay, what would work? And this is what I was imagining. I'm like, because I thinking back on that time, it would have worked that he not come home. He goes somewhere, whether he goes to a park or sits in his car and he naps for 20 minutes so that when he comes home, I can hand over the kids. Because it's like he comes home and if I see him napping, I would just feel jealous and resentful. Sorry, I'm human, but that's how I would feel. So stay away, become rested, then come home, and then I can hand this over to you, and I can go and rest. So you have to find that way and navigate, and it is a process of having to find something that works for 2 human beings who grew up in 2 different households and have 2 different sets of conditioning. So I had to find that way with some things with Eckhart in a relationship. He's human too, okay? He's human. We're human. And relationships are sometimes challenging. It's not, you're enlightened and hey, that's it. It's all smooth sailing all the way. There's the cooking, the cleaning. Okay, we don't have kids together, but they're cooking, the cleaning, the garbage, and everything else, the everyday life of things. Now, I'm from the generation who was brought up where the woman does everything. So when I began my relationship with Eckhart, that's what I thought I had to do, was everything. He's a European man, grown up in that generation, right? Where the woman does everything. That's his conditioning. He had his conditioning, I had my conditioning. But I'm also had grown up here in the West, where the women's movement happened. So I might have had the conditioning of I do everything, but there was a conflict inside me of, wait a second here, I shouldn't have to do everything. I work as well. Why should I do everything? So here I was inside being conflicted of, okay, but I've got to be a good partner, a good wife, and what I learned what a good partner and a good wife is that you do everything. So I started to feel resentful. And okay, you know how long it might take for training to happen for a child? Well, it's the same thing with adults. It takes a while to train and decondition yourself, right? So it takes time, and it takes having to be present, and it takes having to be, to do it over and over again, because you just don't learn one time. It's very rare where you'll master something one time. When you learn an instrument, it takes time. Okay, you learn how to cook, it takes time. You even learn how to clean, it takes time to learn how to clean well. So we have to then begin to navigate. And how are we going to navigate through this consciously? And it's through sometimes trial and error. It's through sometimes having to remind. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that as we awaken, it doesn't mean that life is going to be, the life situation will always be blissful. There will be challenges, but it's how we meet those challenges, how we overcome those challenges. And for everybody, it may be different. So I may suggest one thing, but it may not work for you. But you are consciousness itself, so all you have to do is go within, and there will be an answer there. The answer will come. It may come through you, it may come through somebody else making a suggestion and you try it. Oh yeah, that works, or oh no, it doesn't work, so you find something else. And remember, you got two human beings here. And if you've got a family, you got a family then, where everybody has their own personality. Everybody comes into this world with their own karma, so to speak. So we try to then navigate that. And it is sometimes challenging. But it's okay. Challenges are okay. They're here to awaken us and to be able to then respond consciously. Because if we can meet those challenges at home, we can meet those challenges, the bigger challenges that are in this world. How will we change this world? We change this world through ourselves. Change has to come from within first.